Hello, hello, hello. Hi, 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 hi. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. How are we all doing tonight? How are we doing tonight? Welcome in, Glow. Congratulations on getting first. Thank you for getting on your flames. Welcome in, Anna. Hope you guys have been having a good Thursday so far. Hopefully it's not been too stressful. Been able to chill out, relax, just have a good time. Death came for me. Hope you're better. Yeah, about that. I'm sorry death came for you. Sorry death came. Hold on, I have to strip real quick. It's a little hot in here. Ugh. Throw my jacket away. Throw my jacket away. I'm sweating in my own room. I guess it's better than freezing though. Ugh. It was pretty nice here today though. It was like 65. It's supposed to be like 20 tomorrow again for some reason, but it's pretty nice. It was pretty nice today. Oh, we're slowly getting over this illness though. I don't think my voice is back to where it needs to be, but I don't feel like death anymore. I don't feel like death anymore, so that's good. It got warm here and then the sun left. Ooh. Hopefully the sun comes back. Hydrate, we can do that. We can hydrate. We have good old water. I also have a cream soda, 0 sugar here, but we hydrated with the water. I figured that was fair. So keep that throat going strong. Throat gang? Wait, hold on. Throat goat? No, hold on. What are we talking about? Sometimes we want the throat going strong. Maybe not all for the same reasons. Maybe we have different reasons. My voice. Oh, yes. I mean, it's not where it needs to be, but it's functional. It's functional. Like my entire, like if I pull up in OBS, I go and pull up my filter, EQ, open plugin. If I go look at it, so I pretty much normally between like 8 and 10K, I'm usually like 3 or 4 decibels over the median, and pretty much anything above about 7K just doesn't exist for me anymore. It's just not there. I just don't have any in my top end. It's really unfortunate. Like my entire low end's like the same, but I don't know. It's just, it makes my voice darker than it normally is. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. You probably won't even notice it unless you like are actually paying attention to the A and B, but oh, excuse me. Excuse moi. So if you scream, we'll hear it. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like the entire like fry vocal range is just non-existent for me now. Like if I try to do a scream, it just, the entire top end's not there, unfortunately. So, but today I think I came to the decision that I am going to continue streaming. So the past like week, I've been pretty heavily debating hanging it up because I just keep having things go wrong in my life. And I think I kind of need to get another job. I think I need to get a second job, which won't leave me much time for streaming. Because we just had our water heater go out. So now it's like cold shower time, and I don't like that. So I need like $3,000 to replace that. And I still don't have my truck fixed, which that'll be like another grand. And I've been heavily debating just selling my PC to fund stuff, unfortunately. But I think we just put the fries in the bag and we just get a second job and just have less time to stream. So I don't know. I don't really know what the future holds as far as stream schedules or being able to consistently do stuff. In the very short term, not much will probably change. I'll probably be able to stream about the same as I am, but I think I need to find more income. So we may do, where some weeks we only stream like, maybe 8 hours on a Sunday or something. Or maybe I can find something only on the weekends so I can just stream a couple hours every night during the week instead. I don't know. I don't know. It's just over the past 6 months, I've had to shell out about 20 grand just to keep things running. And I don't know how you guys do it, but I don't have an extra 20 grand. So I need to find that somewhere. It's unfortunate. It's not fun because it's not like viewers really can do it. Like outside of an Oil Prince being in chat, just being like, "Hey, have 20 grand, brother." Like outside of that, like that's not something chat's gonna come through on. And I don't expect anyone to be very clear. And so it's kind of an awkward conversation to have, but reality is I'm just going to have to really zone down on content and focus on getting money for a while, because you girls got to live. That's the reality. And frankly, if the water heater's out, that means I have to go to the gym to shower. And with my truck being down, I'm carpooling right now. So like, if I do that, I'll have to get up at like 3 a.m. to go to the gym to shower. And then come back home, get my partner up, get ready, then carpool to work. And then work for 10 hours. And then come back home. And then still try to find, like, I don't know. Finding the energy to stream even, and that's rough. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. I figured it was worth mentioning. Content will be kind of all over the place for me, probably for a while, till I get like 4 grand or so, maybe 5 grand saved up to kind of get stuff fixed. And then we'll try to get back to it. Hopefully it'll be just, hopefully I can find something in the next month or so to augment my income, and then work for, I don't know, 2 to 4 months to get this all going, and hopefully nothing else breaks in the meantime. Based on my luck, I can't guarantee that won't happen. A fridge can still break. I already had a fridge break, but I had an extra one, so that was fortunate. I was still able to I still had an extra fridge, fortunately. But the dryer broke. I got to get a heating element for the dryer. We have a broken fridge. My truck's broke. The water heater went out. We recently got the heat fixed. That's good. The furnace is back up and running. That's good. My dishwasher doesn't really work, but that's fine. I could just hand wash dishes. But because I have no hot water heater, I now have to boil water on the stove, fill up the sink, and then wash the dishes that way. So that's not ideal, but we get by, It'll be great. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, so I will mostly be doing collabs, I think, with people that I already have planned for a while. And then I'll try to fit in regular streams, but no promises. No promises. There'll likely, not this week, but starting next week, the YouTube uploads will probably return. But it'll probably be more featured content. Like maybe we do a couple scripted videos over stuff that I don't have to spend a whole lot of time editing, but we just write and we just record. So always take care of yourself. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look out for yourself. You gotta gotta get your sleep. You gotta do what you need to do to survive. And I understand that, and everyone hopefully understands and is able to do that for themselves as well. But it's just one of those things where it's like, in my heart of hearts, I know that I could sell off my equipment and fund this right now, especially with the way tech prices are. But then I would have no idea on when I would be able to reacquire stuff to try to remotely return to doing content. So it would probably, if I do that, it would just be, we're just done kind of a thing. Unfortunately. Yeah, technically so the GPU I paid like $780 for, I think, after it shipped. It's worth about $1,500 now. It's gone up quite a bit. So like I could sell that off. I technically do have my old GPU still, so I could do that. Yeah, so I bought this GPU, and then 2 days later they were like, yeah, we're discontinuing it. We're not making it anymore. So it shot up in price. Which, I mean, cool if I sell, but doesn't really affect anything if you hold, kind of a thing. Oh, that said, because of the way the content's rolling around, I'm probably just going to be time skip video gaming for streams. And what do I mean by that? I'm probably just gonna, when I have time to play a game on my own time, I'm probably just gonna play. And then when we stream, I'll probably just stream whatever game I'm currently playing, and it'll just skip around. You guys probably won't see all of a game for a while, which might be lame, might not be fun for content, but like, how many of you guys actually watched all of Baldur's Gate 3 anyways, right? You know, who saw all that anyways? So that way we can keep working through our backlog, keep playing games and having fun. Exception is probably Minecraft. I will probably still only play Minecraft on stream. For the most part. I don't see all of a game anyways. I get too busy and do looks. Yeah, and that's my point, is that like on the stream side, I don't think anyone really comes to, at least to my stream. I'm sure there's some streams that are different, but I don't think people come to my stream and just watch all of a game with me, right? We come, we hang out, we have a good time, we vibe, love it. But like, I don't think missing 2 hours of a 80-hour story experience because I played it on my own time is going to affect most people in stream. YouTube upload side, maybe the VOD watchers or the people on YouTube side are like, well, that sucks. And I could understand that, because some people put on, you know, like if Glow makes an Elden Ring playlist for her Elden Ring playthrough, like someone may put that on and watch that entire playthrough, right? Like that's something that happens, that people do. But I'm more thinking it for the stream side at the moment, to be able to continue doing stuff while I have less time, because I still need to. I could make it work not changing streaming stuff and just adding in work somewhere and just running myself to the bone, I'm sure. But like, if I want to have time to exercise and I want to have time to make sure I can eat actual food instead of just having takeout and still get, you know, 6 or 7 hours of sleep, then something has to give. And unfortunately, I think that's the YouTube side of things more than anything. Maybe we get shorts up for the week. I don't know, but the actual edited uploads are gonna probably come to a stop first, and then stream time will take a hit. Maybe we can do 4 to 6 a.m. streams while I'm waiting on my partner to get ready. Maybe we do that. Maybe we just shift Twitch to butt crack of dawn. Streaming or not, you sold me pasta and rocks eventually. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know about rocks, but shrooms for sure. I mean, food. Yeah, food. Yes, food. I didn't really have a plan to actually do anything tonight. I'm gonna be honest. I just wanted to yap for a little bit. Oh, rock climbing. That makes more sense. That makes way more sense. I thought you were saying like pasta in like crystal meth. And I'm like, I did not agree to that. Do not put words in my mouth because that's what I think when I see rocks. Like that, you know what I mean? I'm saying like I didn't agree to that. Like I understand, you know, maybe an area I'm near is famous for that. Don't get me wrong, but like didn't think we discussed that. Didn't think that was on the table. Rock climbing would be fun. Yeah, I could do rock climbing. I haven't been rock climbing since I took my cruise to Alaska. I was thinking about the other day, man. I miss having just times where you can just... So I really noticed it because I got really sick last week. And so I was able to do pretty much nothing but just vibe for multiple days. And sometimes it's just nice to just decompress. And it made me miss going on like actual vacations. Like, when was the last time when you guys took an actual vacation? Like you got like a week off or more to just go and just do stuff. Because usually I do like staycations. Like my last vacation I took, like actual vacation, was when I bought my house and I took 10 days to move. That's not a fucking vacation. That's work. That's effort. That's not fun. The last vacation I took was my cruise, yeah. And it was awesome. It was so good. I highly recommend if anyone has the ability to go on a cruise, like obviously don't put yourself in debt over this. I know a lot of people who put themselves in debt over it, but like the cruise was so fun. A few years ago when I was still in Chicago, I spent a week with my mom for holidays. Oh, okay. Okay, so you were in Chicago and you traveled. Did you travel to Florida then at the time for the holidays? An actual vacation where I wasn't stressed out. Yeah, I'm talking no stress. Like you just chill. Wait, hold on. What do you do for a vacation that you are stressed out? What situations are we talking about here? Because like for me, I had to move house. That was stressful. But at the same time, like I got a house, right? That's on me. I caused that stress. I haven't been on one since I was a kid. Maybe I should. You haven't been on a vacation since you were a kid? Oh. Guys, we need vacations. So when I was a kid, we would go every other year. We would go to Colorado. We would go one year. We would go, one year we'd go to Colorado and we'd go and see things like Pikes Peak and Yellowstone and stuff like that, which is like Colorado and I think Wyoming or whatever. And we'd go camping. We'd take like 2 weeks to go camping and just visit the mountains and stuff. And that was always really cool. I did not appreciate it enough when I was a kid. Don't get me wrong. I was like, oh, why are we stuck in the Jeep for 20 hours at a time? This is so lame. But as I got older, I was like, okay, that was some cool times. That, you know, petting bears from the car window was kind of cool. While the cops were like trying to hurdle them away. I don't think they're called cops. My brain wants to say Mounties, but we're not in Canada, so I know they're not Mounties. Whatever the park rangers for Yellowstone are called, maybe that's what they're called, park rangers. They like, you would pet the bears as you're driving by and they'd be trying to wrangle them up so as to not get people injured. That was always fun. We do that one year. So every other year we did that, but on the years we didn't go to Colorado, we would take like a trip to just some random state in the Midwest. Like we'd go to Ohio one year, we'd go to Idaho one year, we'd visit Minnesota one year, kind of a thing. And we would just go around and just literally just drive to some cities and see random nonsense, just get food and stuff. College trips, because they have the worst housing. Oh, yeah, okay. I could see college trips being stressful. I could see that being stressful. That sounds so nice. Yeah, it was really cool. Oh, I guess I have been on one vacation since I bought my house. I forgot. I went with Lana and Bass. We went to Vegas. I totally forgot I went to Vegas for FanFest. We had that raid offline get together. I totally did that. That was fun. That was 2 years ago. That was 2023, 3 years ago. I forgot I did that. Glow said, I need friends. My brain went, oh yeah, I have friends. We did stuff. We went places. Yeah, but growing up, it was like, you know, you'd go, and my parents just could never get more than a few days off one year. And so we would always go, like, every other year they would have 2 weeks they could take, but on the off years, they could only take 3 or 4 days. So we would just, you know, pick a random state we were adjacent to and go and do stuff, you know. Canoeing across Lake Michigan was fun. One year we did that. I don't know if it was canoeing. It may have been kayaking. I think it was probably kayaking. Looking back, I don't really remember the difference. I'm going to be so real. I've done both multiple times. I can't ever remember which is which, though. Way to flex the friendship. Listen. Did your paddle have 2 sides? See, that's the thing, is I don't remember in Michigan if it had 2 sides. Technically the boat was 2 seats. So it was for that one, it was basically there was 2 seats, but they were connected. So, you know, you kick the person in front of you's booty, basically. On that one. I think it's a kayak. I think that one was a kayak. We did kayaking in Alaska for sure. My friends stress me out with vacations because nothing gets planned. I always end up sleeping on the floor, and by the end you're overstimulated. Oh, that's so fair. So like when we did the Vegas trip, so we went down there for Final Fantasy XIV's fan festival, and me and my partner were the only ones who got tickets. So basically everyone went and rented an Airbnb in Vegas. We all chipped in for it. I want to say it was like $200 each or something like that, for like a $3,500 one. And one of the people planned stuff for people to do. And then the tickets for the actual festival were done on a lottery system, and no one else got tickets. It was only me and my partner who got tickets. So we pretty much all went to Vegas to just hang out and chill. And so I pretty much showed up. The luck. I got to spend $600 I didn't have. So lucky. Yeah. No, it was super good luck, actually. I didn't get them this time. I lost the lottery this time. We were going to go, but we didn't get the lottery this time. Which is good because I could not have afforded it anyway. I would have bought the tickets and been in even worse financial trouble than I already am. It would have been so bad because I think they were $350 a piece this time. So it would have been $700 for the 2 tickets. But we went down there, and like, I didn't really have to worry about planning stuff at all because we did stuff with the group when we weren't at the festival. I don't know how their planning went together. I know, like, we went to, oh God, I wish Lana was here. I can't think of there was some like mystery event store thing. I'm not, this is probably making 0 sense. It's like a supermarket solve the mystery thing. And my brain is not remembering what it is actually called. Hold on. Let's see. Supermarket Vegas mystery. I don't know what this thing is called. Omega Mart. Actually, how in the fuck did it get that out of my keywords? That's crazy. Omega Mart. Yeah, there we go. Meow Wolf Las Vegas Omega Mart. Yeah, we went and we did that one day. Yeah, it was a good time. That was fantastic. That was a fun time. If anyone has the opportunity to do it, I think we went and we showed up at like 10 a.m. on one of the days, and we were in Omega Mart until like 5 p.m. We spent like the whole fucking day there. It was really good. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. But that was like one of the only things that they'd kind of planned that I participated in because I was at the festival most of the time. But yeah, it was fun. It was like a 22-hour drive, I think, from where we were. I want to go there. You went to Factory Obscura, which is less of a mystery, more of interactive art installation. See, that sounds cool too, though. That sounds like a fun time. I have to see Rem Fair someday, like ReZero Rem, or do you mean a Renaissance Festival? I'm assuming you mean a Renaissance Festival, but you said Rem Fair, and I'm immediately thinking of like a festival where everyone is just cosplaying as Rem from ReZero, and I'd go to that too. I'm just saying, like, either or. I'm kind of surprised you've not been to a Ren Fair though. That's actually kind of crazy based on like you growing up on a farm and stuff like that. It's kind of sounds like something you would have done. I usually go like every 2 to 3 years. I'll go to one. I was gonna go. We went. Belle and Savvy and Sam flew down to Lana's in October, I think it was, and I went down to visit them, and they went to Renaissance Fair. But unfortunately, because of the days I had available off work, I was not able to go with them. I had to leave the day they were gonna. So we were gonna go on a Saturday, but it rained and it got all muddy, so we didn't go to Ren Fair. So they ended up going on Sunday, but I had to go home on Sunday because I work Monday. So unfortunately, I was gonna go to Renfest with them, but you can hear about my life later. Things like that don't exist. No, so it's like from Lana's, because it's a small town, and if you know where Lana is, I think it was like 45 minutes from her. There's one up by me usually that's about 30 minutes from me, but I was going to go with them to theirs instead. To be fair though, I also I know so many people who work the Renaissance festivals that I kind of don't have to pay for things. Like I have to pay for a ticket to get in, but like I know people who work the hookah lounges in there, so I can go smoke the hookah for free. I know people who work the like the root beer stalls, so I can get root beer for free. I know people who sell the turkey legs, so I can get turkey legs for free. So it's like if I go to the one up here, I pretty much pay the like $30, I think it is, per person to get in, and I can just kind of hang out for the most part. If I want to do an event there, I have to pay, but I can just kind of eat and live. It is nice, yeah. A lot of the time, a lot of the people I know who work up there are from like playing local clubs and venues in the area around here. They would do events, like they'd book shows and stuff like that, or they would book like dance events or burlesque events at the same venues, which would be how I met them. And so we just kind of stayed in touch, fortunately. And so we just it'll be one of those things where you just like, you pop in, you say hi, you hang out with them for a couple hours at the Renaissance Fest, and you get yourself a turkey leg. You know what I mean? Like, that's fun. It's a good time. Lana was blessed with internet access and more friends. Lana was blessed with internet access. I think the world would be a very different place for people in small towns without internet access. I also think for a lot of people, though, you know, whether or not that internet access mattered really depended on just how religious your family was. Because, you know, the Pokemon is Satanism and Harry Potter is Satanism kind of crowds, even when the internet was coming out. Like, if you happen to have a family that thought those things, I don't think the internet was going to save you very well. Unfortunately. Luckily, my mom wasn't too far gone then. I looked, so my grandparents on both sides, on one side, they are basically Mennonites. And on the other side, they're basically a slightly more strict version of Mennonites. So my parents both grew up like super strict religious, super, you know, like my mom could always had to have her hair up. There was no TV. There was no radio even when they were growing up or anything like that. Like they couldn't, like they existed, but their families did not partake in that devil's magic. Right. And so I was fortunate enough that my parents went hardline against that whenever they got married, and to where I, you know, my mom was the one who's like, oh my gosh, we're going to go and we're going to read these wizard books. They're going to be so great. We love magic and spells. It's so good. She was all about that life. I had no one to hold my hand through the internet, so I only stuck to YouTube and such. Oof. Yeah, I mean, it's really weird because I think for the mainstream audience on the internet now, and by that I mean like your average person, like your average person using the internet, until YouTube came out, they wouldn't have wanted to use the internet anyways, right? So like YouTube really started coming out in, what was it, 2005, 2006, I want to say, was when like it kind of early venture of YouTube. Before that, when everything was like text form, like if you wanted information on a video game, you went to a GameFAQ, and it was basically just a text document with like ASCII art to show you maps and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, for your average person, they would have seen that shit and been like, nah, internet's not where it is. It doesn't matter. And so you wouldn't have really wanted to use it anyways. YouTube was kind of like a big turning point for a lot of internet culture stuff, I think. Because while we had things like memes before, you know, it wasn't anywhere near of what it became whenever we started getting YouTube videos. I was shown movies as a child I shouldn't be shown. What is your number one I should not show a child this movie? Like, what's the one that makes you... Because I have an answer on what I shouldn't have been shown as a kid because it scared the ever-loving piss out of me. But what is like the one, why did you show this to me as a kid? What's that movie for you that you're like... You mean besides 50 Shades? I forget just how baby you are that 50 Shades would have been shown to you as a child. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. Underworld, that's a good one. That's one that I could be like, okay. Phenomenal movie, don't get me wrong. Love me Underworld, but I could see with all the violence and the gore, and I mean, if you go further into like Underworld 2 with the sex scene, like, you know, I could see maybe you shouldn't have shown that to a kid. Maybe you shouldn't have shown that to a kid. Like Nightmare on Elm Street was the first movie that gave me nightmares. I don't know anything. And it was sex and gore, I suppose. So you want to know the movie that scared the ever-loving piss out of me? And this is going to sound so dumb. The movie that got me as a kid, that scared me so much, was Jurassic Park. And let me explain myself. The T-Rex didn't scare me. The Velociraptors didn't scare me. You know what scared me? In like, I don't know, maybe 2/3 of the way through the movie. And this is going to be insensitive because I do not know this guy's name. I don't know the actor's name. But there's a very fat fellow in that movie who is like dealing under the table to sell information, right? Like that's his character. And it is like raining and he's driving through the park and he has to get out of his vehicle to like open the gate or something, right? Big boy slips in the mud, falls down to the side of like this cliff thing, you know? And there's this itty bitty dinosaur, I don't know what it's called, that comes out and it has like the flappy flaps on the side or whatever. And it spits this like ink stuff in this dude's face. And you want to know why this scared me so much? It freaked me out because this guy had to wear glasses and he couldn't see, and this dinosaur ruined his vision. And as someone who had perfect vision, surrounded by a bunch of people who always had to wear glasses, it scared me. It scared me so much because it made me think that animals were going to make me need glasses. Right? Like in my little kid brain, it made me go, oh my God, are my cats going to make me wear glasses if they get angry at me? Is the dog going to make me need to wear glasses if it gets angry at me? Because I couldn't make the distinction that this was like, I don't know if fantasy is the right word, but a fantasy situation, like a situation I'm never going to run into, obviously, right? But as a kid, that scared me so much. It terrified me. Like, that's so mean. I know. Listen, I said it was going to sound insensitive. I said it was going to be an insensitive story, and it is. And I don't know why. It freaked me out so much as a kid. And that's the one that I'm like, my parents shouldn't have shown me that movie. It's not a scary movie, but I had no right to be watching that movie when I was a kid. No right. Wayne, let me Google this. Make sure we're talking the same person. Because Wayne. Yeah, that is him. Yeah, because again, it's the guy from Seinfeld. I guess I could have said that. That makes sense. I could have said that. I knew he was in Seinfeld. I wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, but that was just kind of the movie that did it for me. I don't know. Like everyone was like, oh, my parents showed me it. It was so scary. And I'm like, brother, have you seen Jurassic Park? Check out this scene. It's horrifying. Not even thinking at the time that like the person I'm telling this is scary to already wears glasses, right? Like the things we fear and we think of and affect us as kids are just so strange to think about sometimes. Because it shouldn't have been a big deal. It shouldn't have been a big deal. Like, the T-Rex was the real threat in that movie, right? The Velociraptors stalking people in that movie was the real threat. Didn't care about those. That was fine. No problems there. I'm trying to think where the heavy petting scene in Underworld is now, though. Maybe there is one. There's a full-on sex scene in this Underworld Evolution, the second one. Like, within the first 5 minutes of the movie, I think. They're, like, in the back of a truck getting a ride from someone, and they're just back there fucking. It's petting. It sounds like grooming. Technically, it is grooming, but not that kind of grooming. Oh, hey, the background changed on this. Ooh. We just have a YouTube video captured for it's just copyright-free music we're listening to. So you got to remember, Glow has had less than amazing adult encounters in her life. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Petting can be very good. Petting can be nice. Not everyone gets it though, I guess, and that's unfortunate. It's a good way to show affection that leads to other things. I don't know how Twitch safe we're going here, to be honest. Ooh, what does the Google say? Hold on, what does Google say if I type in what is petting? What is petting? I like how I go to type it in. I type in what is petting, and the first option says what is petting a dog, and then the immediate second option is what is heavy petting in a relationship. Like, what the fuck, Google? Heavy petting is an intense, passionate physical intimacy that involves direct touching, fondling, or manual stimulation of a partner's genital areas or breasts, usually without engaging in penetrative sexual intercourse. Often referred to as outer course or foreplay, it is highly charged, intimate act aimed at sexual pleasure. Brother, Google knows what it's about, I guess. Holy shit. Oh, I have gained knowledge. Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Not bad knowledge to have, to be fair. I would argue it's the inverse of a quickie. It is the, you know, I have some time to burn with someone I love kind of a vibe. This is now in my search history, though, which that's a little uncomfortable. Not really a fan of that. And you want to know why it bothers me? I don't know if you guys have this issue, but the amount of time, because everything's linked. My phone is linked to it because all my stuff's logged in, right? The amount of times, like, I will just, like, give someone my phone to look something up and they type something in. And if for whatever reason they want to learn about petting a dog, they're now going to see that I searched for heavy petting. And that's uncomfortable. That's not ideal. I turned off my... I don't do that. I think it's a cool idea. I think the idea of incognito mode, like removing your search history and stuff like that, and all that, I think it's cool in theory. I think in practice, I am just okay with people seeing the uncomfortable things. This is going to go off on a tangent. I have a much more personal relationship with my boss, like my direct boss, because she found hentai on my phone. In a vacuum, that sounds really bad. Right? Like that sounds not good. It sounds like a bad thing. But now I get asked for like recommendations, and my boss is nicer to me. And if I want things done at work, I can ask for it, and it generally will get done. Because this unfortunate situation of just me lending her my phone, and I don't even remember what she typed in, but it ended up like it just kind of pulled up a previous hentai result that probably shouldn't have been on there, right? Like, probably should. I should have deleted history. I gooned too close to the sun, as they say. But because of that, I can, like, my boss will talk to me about anime and what's coming out and what they're interested in coming out in some games and stuff like that. And that's not something I even knew my boss would have been interested in based on who they present themselves as a person, like in the workforce, right? Like, I don't think most people should know what their coworkers' interests are. Maybe that sounds cold. Maybe that sounds closed off. I'm there to work. I'm not there to be your friend in general. So, like, I never would have known that my boss liked that kind of stuff had that accident not happened. The scene between a male vampire who wanted Kate Beckinsale and the blonde female vampire who was friends. Oh, yeah. I actually know what you're talking about. Yes. It's such a good movie. Underworld is so good. Can we do an Underworld watch along? Maybe the ladies in the chat don't get it as much, like, but goddamn, Kate Beckinsale in Underworld was so good. She just did it for like very specific subset of people, and if you feel it, you feel it. You just know. I have a friend who had a bad habit of looking at other people's phones. She stopped after I hung out with me for a while. What'd she find, Anna? What'd she find? What did she find? I guess it could have been a guy. I absolutely... No, you said she. Okay, I was like, I assumed she for some reason, but you did say she. Okay, yeah. You've never seen Underworld? I should not be surprised at this because it's a pop culture thing. So I should assume Glow has not seen it. I cannot express how much you should probably see that movie at some point. You said Underworld and I was thinking of Epic. Oh my God. Underworld is so good. Underworld is like... especially like nowadays, it probably holds a bit of a different connotation for people now, because I feel like when you recommended Underworld to people before, it was like, oh, cool, it's a cool vampire movie, right? Now people are probably going to go, oh, the furry movie. Underworld, more like out of this world. Anwa, have you seen Underworld? Have you seen Underworld? Anwa's a baby too. Anwa may not have seen it. Hugh Jackman again. Yeah, Van Helsing's one of those movies that I went in expecting to be a joke, but it was good. It's very funny for the type of movie it is, but I'm goo goo gaga and such. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I just like I think you had just been born when Underworld came out. That's all I'm saying. Right? Because I think Underworld's like 2000. And in my brain, like Anwa is between the ages of like 18 and 30. No way Underworld came out that late. You were insane. Underworld. 2003. Okay, that yeah. 2008 was way too late. Yeah, 2003 still. Rise of the Lycans came out in 2009. Holy shit, there is 5 movies now. Underworld Awakening, Underworld Blood Wars. What is that? I haven't even seen the last one. Holy crap. Maybe I need to get on it. Sorry, the shapes. That's fair. The shapes. Yeah. Blood Wars was made. Yeah, I saw the first 3 because the first 3 were the ones that came out back to back. I didn't realize they had, because it was 2003, 6, and then 9. Boom, boom, boom. And then 12 and 16. Dang. A reboot of the franchise was announced in 2025 and development for 2026. Oh my god, we're getting a reboot? How are they going to replace Kate Beckinsale? How are you going to do that? Like, what do you... What who could you... I don't know. I don't know the young actors. They're going to pull someone out. Everyone's going to be like, oh, that makes perfect sense. I'll be like, I have no idea who you are. But yeah, Underworld. Fantastic movie. If you like vampires, good movie. If you like furries, good movie. It's not really a furry movie. That's definitely an over-exaggeration. But nowadays, you know, people probably yiff for the movie or something. I'm an 04 baby. Oh my gosh. All the youngins. All the youngins. I say that. I feel like 2000 is the great divide in my mind. It's like anyone born after 2000 and I'm like, that's a baby. Anyone before it and I'm like, god damn, you're a hag or you're an unk or you're a grandpa. You know, there's like, that's like the divide. It's like close out here celebrating as I'm slandering in real time. That was kind of great. That was like perfect timing there. Holy shit. You call me a baby, but then I'm a heck yeah. I'm talking in the internet's terms. Like anything before 2000 is hag territory. I was watching someone the other day. They're like 22. I was in their stream. They're like 22, and their entire chat is calling them unk because their whole chat is not an 18+ stream. Their whole chat is like 13 to 15 year olds, and they're like early 20s. Like, mind you, this was I think it was Minecraft. It was either Minecraft or Hytale. Like, it was very much like I could see that children would watch this person. And it was very chill. Like, it was very wholesome, like, say-so stream. It wasn't like they were, like doing anything that you would seem untoward. But, like, the entire time, their chat was just calling them unk and grandpa. And I'm like, brother, they can barely drink. Like, they're a year past drinking. What are we talking about? And it just made me realize, like, I am probably dust in their mind. I have turned to dust in their mind. Also, so my friend saw my phone. I can read anything with a straight face in public, and she saw some cursed things. Yeah, I remember. I don't know who else had this phase. I had a pretty like heavy fan fiction phase where I would just like read fan fiction wherever and whenever. Like I would be on like MediaMiner.org or fanfiction.net or something like that, just on my phone. And I cannot imagine what anyone looking over my shoulder in public would have thought about some of the stuff I was reading. We've graduated from that. We don't read fan fiction anymore, thankfully. We've moved on to just reading light novels instead, which is basically just fan fiction sanctioned by Japan. That's basically all it is, really, if we're being serious. It's just isekai fan fiction. Oh, it's crazy work. This has been a pretty good playlist. I hadn't seen this playlist before, but I put it on tonight. I've enjoyed it. Who's we? I'm still there. Oh. What fan fictions are we reading? Holy. I read fanfic since high school. Yeah, so like what happened is and this dates me. This dates me, okay. What happened was I read Inuyasha fan fictions in like late middle school, early high school, right? Right, okay. On the PC, because smartphones weren't a thing to do. Like technically you could get internet on a phone, but like smartphones weren't a thing at the time, right? And you just naturally fall off fan fictions, right? Other stuff comes out, you change hobbies, genres, whatever. So like clearly, you know, I stopped reading the Inuyasha fan fiction that I read when I was like a young teenager. But then smartphones became a thing. And I suddenly had two options. I could play really terrible video games on my phone during breaks at work and stuff. I could play really terrible video games on my phone. Or I could pirate and illegally read manga on my phone. Right? Those were my two options. And so we went the manga route. We were reading like Rosario Vampire, which manga way better than the anime, by the way. Nothing like the anime. But I did that for like a month or something like that, and then the website got blocked. And so I ended up on fanfiction sites instead. Morale, welcome in. Tired Pup, how are we doing tonight? We're just vibing. We're just chilling. I hope you had a good Thursday. We were talking about reading fan fictions and how you probably shouldn't do that in public. If you want to do that in public, you can, but maybe don't. Like, it's just not the greatest thing to do. People can see into your little world. You should read a fanfic in public? Okay. On what? Okay. I guess if you read like a lemonless fanfiction, maybe. I don't read lemonless fanfictions. I almost exclusively read fanfictions with lemons in them. And it's not intentional. It's just like everyone that ever sounds interesting just happens to have sex in it at some point. Like, I don't know if that's a me thing, but like I'll read a synopsis and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. And it'll be like an alternate universe fan fiction about characters from something, right? Whatever I'm into at the time that has me reading fan fiction, right? But it's like, you know, you'll be reading it and it'll be like, oh, cool, they're having sex now. That's great. Pretty much none of them ever don't do that in my experience. People want to invade my privacy. They better be ready to be scarred by what they see. Okay, yeah, but like, there comes a point of public indecency when like if they want to look over and be like, oh damn, there's some VTuber tits on my Twitter feed. Like, that's one thing, right? Like, I'm scrolling Twitter and there's like fan art of someone I'm following, tits out, whatever. I'm like, okay, that's on them. That's on them. When it becomes on me is when I'm like sitting on the train with Pornhub pulled up. Like, at that point, that would be on me, not them, right? Like, I think there's a clear line there where it's like, yeah, it should be on the user or on the person looking in, but at some point there are some things that are on us if we're looking at it in public. Yeah, no. Oh. Oh man, people have gotten so mad that all the porn gets blocked now. People have gotten so mad that they can't watch their porn anymore. I find it so funny. I find it so funny. When I use Twitter, I stopped opening at public places because of that. I mean, for the most part, I follow relatively say-so people on Twitter. Like, I don't really engage with lewd tubers or anything like that. I don't really, and there's nothing wrong with them. Like, I get along with plenty of people who have done sex work. Like, don't misunderstand that. I think for the most part, the things that I'm interested in or the people I'm talking to on social media just tend to not have those kind of things as much. So it's like, very rarely will I see an NSFW photo on my Twitter timeline. Like, if I pull up my Twitter right now, like, even on my For You page, well, my For You page right now is all about Xenoblade Chronicles X getting the Switch 2 update. So we got someone talking about Mouse. There's nothing there. Xenoblade Chronicles X. We got someone talking about Gamer Subs, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Xenoblade X, damn, Monster Hunter, a PS2 gaming tier list. That a screenshot of Xenoblade X. Someone talking about Persona 3. We love some Persona 3. More Mouse. Did Iron Mouse do something today? Why is she all over my timeline? The JRPG fan lover. Where are all the VTubers at? Yuka's on here. Yeah, I've been scrolling for like, what, 30 seconds now? Maybe longer. I've not seen a single titty. Like, a single uncensored titty, to be clear. I guess technically Mouse did have some cleavage on her post. But I don't think anyone is going to argue that Mouse is a lewd creator by any means. She's a very much not a lewd creator. Listen, there are limitations, but if I'm casually scrolling and they see something that makes them clutch their pearls out, yeah, and that's fair. That's a fair way to think of it. If you're just casually chilling, scrolling, having a good time, and they're like, how could you be looking at it in public? And you're just like, it's just like someone with their ass out because they did a fan art or something like that. Like, when a woman happens to have boots, ooh, lewd tuber. Yeah, I think it hits home a little hard for me when I see stuff like that, because I've seen Melty struggle a lot with identity around themselves being perceived as an overly lewd creator when they're not doing lewd things. And they've like really struggled with that perception, because they'll want to do stuff because it looks fun, like a dance or something like that. And it looks great. It looks sexy. Don't get me wrong. Like, someone's going to look at it and be like, okay, that's sexy. But like, they'll get the comments that will be like, "I'll put them away, lewd tuber." And it's like, it's not even something inherently lewd they're doing. or to be intentionally lewd or anything like that. And it's just, I don't know. They've had a lot of problems with people in the past with it, and it doesn't help people's general perception of the ASMR community. People have very strong opinions about ASMR artists, and lumping them into a lewder category than a lot of them are. Don't get me wrong. There's tons of people who do ASMR and make it hypersexualized. I'm not an ASMR enjoyer. I will die on this hill. I do not generally enjoy ASMR because of how sexual a lot of creators get with it. I get it sells. It does very well for them. They want to do that. More power to them. But like, I'll be hanging out in Koi's stream. Koi does ASMR. I love Koi's ASMR. She's very chill. She likes to just make sounds and do stuff, talk softly, read affirmations, that kind of thing, right? You know, we love Koi here. But the amount of times that Koi has raided out to someone and I've immediately had to take my headphones off because someone's ear is now in my tongue. Tongue is now in my ear. That's not the way I needed to talk. Someone's tongue's like, it makes me uncomfortable on a parasocial level to where I can't enjoy those kind of streams. Like, I feel like when that kind of content is put on me, I feel like I've entered into a non-consensual sexual encounter there. And in a lot of cases, for most people, it probably doesn't feel that way, right? This is probably a me thing, but it's like I showed up and suddenly like you were in my ear canal, and you know, whether I should or should not enjoy this, because there's a very like I am openly a degenerate. There's a very high chance that if it was like someone that I already had a relationship with or something like that, or I was interested in, did that, I may enjoy that. I don't know that I wouldn't. But whenever I hop in that stream and that's the first thing I'm hit with, it makes me uncomfortable. And that's not really on them. That's the content they do. But it makes me know that the content's not for me, because it feels like a forced parasocial relationship that I didn't sign up for. I don't know how that really differs from anyone else watching a regular stream, but it very much feels that way to me. And that's just kind of how a lot of ASMR creators are. So I get why people do lump a lot of them into that category. That said, like, roping it back into like the ASMR Melty does. Melty will be doing like roleplay ASMR about stuff about being like a nurse or something like that in a hospital visit, or a librarian, or, you know, something like it's a scenario. And it's not really the same thing in my mind. You're right, but that one ASMR person Koi rated had her chat clicker trained, and that was kind of impressive. You know, and that's the thing. There's some people that Koi has rated that I'm like, okay, I can fuck with this. I like there's one, it's like Astralana or something like that, who does like, she does like soft spoken stuff because she runs a library or something like that. Like her chat are people in a library, so she's running it like she talks soft to not, you know, disturb people in the library kind of thing. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But it's like a 50-50 on the Koi raid out on what I'm getting hit with. I'm like, am I going to get mentally scarred today? What's happening? What's happening? I tell you guys about the time I almost lost my life because I tried to snap train my partner. I tell you guys about that. So we were, this few years back, we were raiding in Final Fantasy 14. We're just playing, and Pulchra, who he's been in chat a few times. He's been in chat a few times, but he generally just lurks. He doesn't really talk in chat, but we used to raid with him, you know. He's been on my stream a few times, like just playing games and stuff. But his dog was just losing their absolute shit in the background, and he was just like, "Hey, come here!" And he just like snapped, like just forceful snap, and the dog came right over to him, well behaved, great, well trained animal, and I literally, without missing a beat, I was like, "Here, let me try that." And at the time, my PC was set up. So I was living in an apartment down in Oklahoma City at the time, right? We were out in OKC, and it was basically, you had the living room, and then it because it was an apartment, it had like the attached dining room to it. My gaming setup was in that attached dining room. My partner was sitting on the couch in the living room. Without missing a beat, I just turn around, look at her, and I just snap my finger and say, "Come here." And I was met with the look of death immediately followed the, "Did you just snap at me?" And I thought I was going to lose my life in that moment, guys. I thought for sure I had gone too far, and it was just done. It was GG's, baby. We were cooked. And fortunately, they were very understanding, and I may have paid them off with a Thai green curry for dinner that I probably didn't have the money for, but I survived. We got out of that situation with a food bribe. But the moral of the story, do not assume that your partner can be treated like an animal without repercussions, because they don't take too kindly to it. They don't take too kindly to it. I can't imagine why. I mean, if we have someone clicker training their chat, like why couldn't I snap train my partner? Like, what are we doing? Kosa would. Maybe I need to get Kosa in here to tell him my stories, the tips and tricks on how to get through life effectively. I think overall, I don't do too many insane things involving my partner. I think overall, I'm pretty nice. I don't go around, tying them up with a shot collar or anything. So they should just be thankful for that. Yeah. We could make it so much worse. It could be so much worse than it is. They just have to deal with my bad jokes at this point, right? Like, that's not too terrible. That seems like a pretty good trade-off. I already had to stop her from using acetone on her lips for makeup remover. Ooh, that's dangerous. Okay, that's like poison, right? Like, you can poison yourself with that, because don't your lips like absorb chemicals super well? Like, oh, excuse me, holy, isn't that like a very thin membrane layer? So like, if Kosa's lips would have chapped at all, that could have absorbed really bad. Oh, I'm pretty nice, says the guy who admits starting fight. Okay, okay, first off, hold on. When have I admitted to starting fights? I will open up the floor to arguments. I don't think that's the same thing. Would we call a fight and an argument the same thing? Like, okay, to be clear, and the reason I feel like this is a distinction that needs to be made here is, and this is gonna be a sexist thing I'm about to say here. Try to look past the sexist remark here real quick, because it's not being made in a way to feel sexist, I don't think. the common thing when I hear people starting fights in couples, it's always like that stereotype of the woman just wanting to fight over something, so they pick something their partner did out of nowhere to fight about, right? Like that's the stereotype I think about when I hear that. And that's on me as a man being used to hearing that from other men, right? So like it is absolutely a sexist thing like that's making me think that, which is why I wanted to clarify. But it's like, you know, I've had a bunch of my boys be like, yeah, man, she started a fight with me over how I folded the towel wrong. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that she was the one who folded the towels because my lazy ass didn't do it. So clearly, like in that situation, she just wanted to fight with him because he didn't even do the thing that he was getting accused of doing, right? And right, but it's like they just wanted to fight about something. As where like me, I think probably 9 out of 10 times I will go into to get in an argument about something, right? Knowing, like 90% of the time, I think, knowing I am wrong about something, but I want to argue, and it'll allow for me to have a nice, stimulating, healthy back and forth with someone, arguing with them. Because at the end of the day, again, probably 9 out of 10 times, this person is going to be right. They're going to come away with the victory, unless they do something silly like slip up and like let me win over something I shouldn't have won about, right? Like, bro was stimming before TikTok. Shit. Funnily enough, I had an ex who was male, and I just wanted to fight all the time. Yeah, again, that's why I said like the situation I was about to present was going to come off very sexist, because the people who have told me about this happening to them have all been men talking about their girlfriends, right? Like it's extremely anecdotal, right? That's what I was getting at, right? Because it comes across that way, but that's who I've heard talk about it. I'm sure there's plenty of guys who will, like, you know, just smash a beer bottle across their girl's face because they wanted to fight, right? Like, I've heard stuff like that happening, right? That's stereotyping the other direction. But that's usually like, when I think about it on a physical altercation. The Tubi there's a Tubi commercial. Wait, how do you have commercials? You were subscribed. I see your subscription. Ads are not even running. What are we talking about? There's a Tubi commercial. Speaking of partner, they text me. What did I miss? Could you please make sure one of us remembers to take the clothes out of the washer tonight? Chat, what that means is, Ash, take the clothes out of the washer. Because, you see, yeah, I know that's what that means. Because when I fed them at 6 p.m., they took their narcolepsy meds to make them start falling asleep. So there is a 0% chance, and I do mean actual 0% chance, they are going to physically have enough function to walk down the stairs to do this. There's a Tubi commercial that played over the Super Bowl and tricked its watchers into thinking someone changed the channel. Oh my god, that sounds horrible. Domestic violence rose that night. Dude, I bet, honestly. Okay, does that upset you guys when someone changes the channel? Does that actually bother you guys? As someone who is never invested in like television shows, I don't think it would bother me. Like, and I say that because I will hyper focus on watching a TV or watching a show or something like that. But so if I have to do something, like say I need to go to the grocery store or cook lunch or something like that, and I'm sitting there watching television, I'll do that thing where you're like on the edge of your seat knowing you need to go do this thing, but you'll just keep watching it. You just can't drag yourself away from it. And my partner will physically, all they have to do is they just change the channel or they turn it off. And then my brain just, it like disconnects from that situation. It's like, oh, I can do the thing I needed to do. And so it doesn't like, it doesn't register like a, oh, they stopped me from watching that thing I was interested in. It just flips a switch where it's like, oh, I can do something else now. And so I don't think that situation would bother me, which is why I was curious on how but maybe that's just a brain thing. I don't know. But I've heard, listen to both sides. Usually the fights over little stuff happens because something big is festering and the guy's either willfully ignorant or they just don't see it seriously. So here's my thing. Here's my question to that, because I hear, oh God, I was about to talk about it and it just left my brain. Weaponized incompetence. I don't think that's actually the term, but basically weaponized incompetence, right? That's like what you hear about where people usually people talk about it in a term of a guy, because they're being ignorant or don't see it as a problem. That will, it'll be like the guy, the wife wants the husband to do the dishes, but every time they do the dishes, they don't rinse them off. They just stick them in the dishwasher, hit it, and then the dishes come out dirty, right? And so it's like weaponized incompetence because the husband was intentionally being ignorant about the fact they needed to rinse the dishes before putting them in, because all the wife said was, hey, can you load the dishwasher, right? Even though everyone knows, hey, maybe don't let caked on lasagna that's been sitting in the sink for 2 days go in the dishwasher without rinsing it off first. Maybe address that, Pokemon Chess Piece, thanks for kindling your flames. When someone randomly changes the channel when I'm actually invested in something, it bothers you. It's usually your grandmother who thinks that nobody's watching without asking, but I don't get violent about it. Yeah, I could, that's the thing is maybe it's just a me thing who just doesn't get invested in television. Because I can guarantee you, if that same thing happened when I was playing a video game, it would infuriate me. Like if I'm playing my game and someone changed the input and I died to a boss battle in like Dark Souls or something like that, I would lose my shit. Mind you, I'm not a violent person. I want to be very clear. Like anytime I've got aggressively angry because of something, it has always led up to me being injured. So I learned very young that, Ash, you don't get violent over things that upset you because you're the one who gets hurt. Because I'm just a bitch. I just hurt myself, right? So I've never been the person to throw a punch over it, because my luck, I'm going to throw that punch and my wrist is the one that's going to break, right? Ugh. He put actual dish soap in the dishwasher and the whole kitchen was full of soap. Okay, all right, hold on. Here's question. Follow up on that. Was that a single time? Because I think there is a comical humor that I personally would find funny the first time it happened, as long as the person is willing to clean up the mess. So like say my partner put dish soap in there, I come in and the entire thing flooded and is everywhere. If they were like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, let me clean this up, I would probably just think it's humorous, it's funny. But if they were like, you should have told me which soap to use. That was the soap on the counter. Of course that's the soap I'm going to use. What, are you fucking stupid? What do you mean that's not the soap I'm supposed to use? Like if they had that attitude towards it, because they can't accept the responsibility of them doing something, which I would argue is comically incorrect in that situation. on a one-off, right? Because that is like, it's something where you're like, oh yeah, it was soap. My bad. I didn't realize. Let me get that cleaned up. I made the mistake there. You know, I'll know better in the future, you know. I think if it was, you know, approached that way, it's fine. But the inability to take responsibility over it would drive me insane. I have made a man taller than me sprint for an exit before. Okay, I feel like, okay, I missed part of that because that very much felt like I missed something. Weaponized conflicts usually come from a lack of wanting to do the thing, so they do it badly, repeatedly, acting instant each time. Yeah, absolutely. Partner takes on the task on top of everything else. Yeah, and I think for me, I've been with my partner for a very long time, and the longer we've been together, the more just group responsibility I have taken on because they've developed or become cognizant to more and more health issues over the years. You know, like, you know, they have to take a lot of medication they never had to, and the day-to-day stuff gets messed up and changed about a bit because of it, you know. To where like right now, good example with the whole laundry thing I was talking about, like they text me that saying, hey, if you can make sure one of us does this, because like, okay, I could go tell them, hey, this needs done. But the reality is they took a medication that basically, like, for those who don't know, it's low dose GHB to put them to sleep. So they have narcolepsy. During the day, they have to take a medication to keep them awake that prevents them falling asleep. Okay. But what that means is later in the day when they need to go to bed, that med is still working in their system to try to keep them up. So then they have to take another medication to make sure they fall asleep, which in this case is low dose GHB, which for those who don't know, that is the date rape drug. It is the drug people slip into each other's drinks to make them drowsy and fall asleep at the bar. So, for anyone who's ever been around anyone who's been dosed like that, or anyone who's been around that or seen the horror story situations, you know that it pretty much makes you kind of useless. You can't walk properly, you can't think or talk properly. So it's like, once they've taken this med, which is prescribed to them, they need it for their medical condition, right? There's 0% chance I want them going down a stairwell into the basement to try to, you know, to try to take care of doing anything with the laundry, right? So it's one of those things, is like, okay, that's a task that, you know, at the start of our relationship, maybe I do at halftime, they do at halftime. But now it's pretty much I'm the one who's going to do that, right? And you just kind of adapt to life that way. But there are some things I'm not great at. Towards the end, I couldn't take much more of that. Yeah, I claimed after him because he could never clean right. Okay, well, hold on. Never clean right is subjective. Okay. How spotless? I mean, you had to get Frank out of your house earlier, right? You couldn't even deal with a little spider sharing your home. How I shouldn't poke the bear here, chat. This is a bad idea. I'm already regretting going down this road. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he probably never did clean right, and say you're absolutely correct on this, right? I think we're out of regular dish pots, so we just use some. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. You know what's crazy? Is you could have. There's two solutions there, right? Oh, we're out of soap. Hey, babe, we're out of soap. We're out of the regular dish pots. Is it acceptable to use this, or should we add it to our list to pick up? Right? Like, super simple, super chill. If you don't know the answer, ask the fucking question. And that's coming from someone who doesn't ever know the answer. Just ask the question. He would sweep, then I would sweep, and my pile would be just as big. Okay, well, as someone who's terrible at sweeping, I sympathize for them. Because I don't know how many of you guys have this issue. I will sweep, And then when I go to put it in the dustpan, it never all gets in the dustpan. Right? And I need to know, chat, what is your strategy for taking care of that? Because I know, and maybe this is me being a terrible person, right? Because what I'm about to say probably is going to trigger all of the people who said it's never clean enough. So I will try to sweep. I'll try to get it all in the dustpan. Doesn't go in. Okay. I then go and I do a second sweep. Usually I get a little bit more. Usually not a lot, but usually a little bit more comes in, adds to the pile, and then I try to get it up in the dustpan. And you know what? It never all goes. There's always that thin line, right? That doesn't get in the dustpan. And you know what I do with that thin line? I literally hold the room like a golf ball, like a golf club, and I fucking swing, and dust goes everywhere. Mind you, it is that little bitty line of stuff that wouldn't get in there. So it's like, it is just actual crumb dust, basically. But it's now just scattered to the wind in that room. And I'm sure anyone who thinks it should be clean is probably internally cringing right now and wanting to attack me. But I tried 2 separate times to get this line up. Couldn't make it happen. You know, now that I'm actually thinking about it, I could probably go get like the vacuum and vacuum that up, I guess. But that's like most of my house is hardwood. And so I don't really think to ever grab my vacuum, if I'm being honest. Ooh, kick it up in the air, pour line. Yeah, but it's like, that's like, I don't know. Because the one line, it's an eyesore. Thin line never's mattered to me. It's when I sweep after someone that piles the same size or bigger. Yeah, I mean... oh. I think there's a common thing of people who don't sweep very often, where they just like don't sweep under things. Like my brother, so back when I was growing up, I have a younger brother, and we would split chores. We'd like rotate chores through the weeks, right? Growing up, like one day I would do the dishes and sweep the kitchen, and he'd be in charge of vacuuming the living room, dining room, right? That kind of thing. And then following day we'd swap, kind of thing. And for whatever reason, this man could not fathom how to vacuum around or under the table, like the dining room table. Every single time. Yeah, carpet in the dining room. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, I feel it's rough, but that's how it was at my parents' house. We were in a duplex at the time. Like, we were renting a duplex growing up, basically. And for the life of this kid, he could not figure out how to vacuum under a table. And so we had a Pomeranian, 3 cats, and a husky. So every time I would have to go vacuum the following day, it was like husky hair Armageddon under this table, because the dog just loved to lay there, you know? So I get the frustration people have when you can go through and basically redo something someone else already did and it not be done right. Like, I get it. But at the same time, like, I think a lot of it was just like, you know, he just vacuumed around it, didn't pull the chairs out, didn't shift the table at all or anything like that. And unless you've done that, you're not going to know to do that. You're just like, nothing got under there. It's fine, probably. But the knowers know. The knowers know how terrible that is. When you have to take 3 separate of the like bag containers just because of hair under a table. Oh, it's miserable. It's miserable. This is just me ranting about having a husky growing up, I think. And having to clean. I'm actually really surprised at how core of housekeeping skills I left my parents with. Because I can't just not clean something, but that's because of backstory reasons. You can't just not clean something. Like you feel compelled to. Like if you see something dirty, So like in this situation, say you were in my situation, and on the day my brother was in charge of that, I knew that didn't get done. I didn't address it till the following day when it was my turn. And then it was annoying to me then. But would have you gone back and redone his work that day? Like, is that what you're saying? Like, that's my question. Because there are people who, like, they would have to do that. It would bother them if that didn't get done correctly. But no, so we like traded chores and stuff. We always had to keep the house clean and stuff like that. And then when I moved out, I pretty much just became a slob. For like, maybe it's the college life kind of vibes, but like, it took me living with someone who was a bigger slob than me to clean up and get my act together. So like, I would go and like when I got my first apartment, like I'd only vacuum like once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, you know? I would let dishes pile up in the sink, and then I would do like 2 or 3 loads of dishes on the weekend, right? Mind you, I rinsed my dishes off. I didn't just have rotting food in my sink, but you know, I wouldn't actively try to get it clean daily like I would have at my parents. I didn't vacuum every day like I did at my parents, you know? I let stuff pile up on the coffee table until I felt compelled to clean it, like that kind of stuff, you know. Laundry didn't get done until I was actually out of clothes, and then I would do like a big laundry day, you know. And I don't know how that happened, because they were all things I was very much conditioned to do on a daily and or every couple of day basis at my parents growing up. For the first time in my life, I'm not living with pigs I can't clean up after because it's a me versus a mountain of junk. It's so nice. Yeah, I mean, so what got me was I let a guitarist friend of mine, a buddy, but I was gonna say a buddy of mine. I haven't talked to this man in probably like 7 years now, so I don't know if I'd call him a friend. He was an old guitar player in one of the bands I was in, though. Stay with me for a while. And this man, and I apologize to anyone who's ever had to deal with this, but this man would eat cereal like 4 times a day. Okay. And he always put like 2 times the amount of milk he needed in the cereal bowls. And he'd go sit on the couch and he'd eat a cereal. And then he would just leave like half of a full bowl of just milk, basically cereal water milk, on the coffee table. And the thing is, if this was like once a day, a couple times a week, probably would have thought nothing of it. But we're talking like literally 4 bowls every day would just chill on the coffee table. And mind you, he was staying with me. He was working days. I was working overnights. So like I was not really in the living room a whole lot during my work week, right? Because I would pretty much work all night. Maybe we'd play shows or something like that, but I'd come home, work all night, come home, go to bed, get up, play shows, go to work, that kind of thing. So I wasn't really hanging out in my own home. And it'd be like after like a week, I'd do my work week, and then I'd come out there and there'd be like 20 plus, and I do mean 20 plus bowls of half cerealed milk, some of them starting to like mold over. And I'm just like, brother, you can't be doing this. You can't, like, that was kind of the line for me when I was like, okay, no, we can't be doing this. Like, you were going to invite something into this home that I do not want to be in here, because it's going to smell the mold and it's going to come. And I did not want the bugs. I did not want the cockroaches. I didn't want any of that noise. But it pretty much took, a couple months living with him, having to pretty much do that every week or every other week, where I just kind of had to do like a full deep clean of the milk and stuff like that. And it really helped me get my act together when it came to like keeping my, like, don't get me wrong, I will definitely have depression spirals now in my life to where like I won't, it's usually kept to my stream room, to be fair. Like my bedroom is nice and clean generally, mostly kept to my stream room, but it'll be like, you know, like right now, if I look to my side, I generally will have one bag of trash that I'm filling with stuff. Like it, like this one is a Panera bag. So like we ordered Panera when I was sick, right? So I'll fill that Panera bag till it's full with trash, and then I'll take that out, right? Like that's kind of my general go-to. Right now, no, because it's not like a trash bag Glow. It's like a bag I got from somewhere that I just put stuff in and then leave with it, right? But right now there's like that Panera bag, and then there's also a Taco Bell bag that is already full. And then there is an empty box of protein shakes that should have gone out already, right? So like right now, technically there's like 3 things of trash pretty much that I should be taking out. But I'm probably going to leave it until one of these bags is overflowing. They're all kind of like 3/4 full right now. Then when they start overflowing, I'll consider it a problem, right? Generally it's 1, but I got sick. Like that's the reality, is I got sick and didn't have the energy to do anything. I still kind of don't. I've coughed a few times on stream so far, but I'm not quite back to 100%, but we're getting there. As I say it. Oh, did you hear my cat? Was my cat in the background? I have headphones on. I can't hear if she was. Oh, yes. It's rough. It's rough, but you gotta clean up after yourself, because no one else is gonna. And if you have someone who will clean up after you, if you have someone in your life who is willing to clean up after you, they're not going to for an indeterminate amount of time. At some point, you were going to alienate this person. Okay, we can drink. At some point, you will alienate this person if you were not cleaning up for yourself. So, learn to take care of your own shit. Wipe your ass, as they say. Oh, I think I do hear her. She's horny out there, huh? You doing okay, sweetie? She's like scratching on the door. I bet it's about to be that time of month for her. The cat's another thing that needs fixed. No, we're not gonna get her fixed. She is like 15 years old at this point. We're not gonna get her fixed. Go see what she's doing. Holy. God. So, down there. So, my cat apparently got trapped in the basement. So in my stream room, there is a panel in my closet inside this room, because this is like a bedroom turned into an office. There's a panel that opens up to get into the plumbing for the bathroom, and that leads into the basement. And so I heard her scratching, so I thought for sure she was at my door. So thought for sure she was at my door, and I opened the door, and there's nothing there. So I take my headphones off. I hear it coming from the closet. Apparently, either maybe when I went to make dinner, or maybe when my partner started laundry earlier, possibly. Apparently she got trapped down there and decided that she was going to climb up through the plumbing to where I'm talking in my stream room. Well, I would have found her when I went to go switch the laundry over here after stream here in a few minutes anyways, but yeah, who's a good girl? Smart kitty indeed, yeah. Yeah, well, and I have a tuba case in front of where that panel is, so like she can't normally get through there. But she like pushed the tuba case through the panel sideways. So oh, crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, who's a good girl? She doesn't normally get to be in this room. I normally don't let her in here because all my PC equipment and microphones and guitars and stuff like that. If I was an IRL streamer, I would probably have a cat tree in the corner and just have her up here as a permanent fixture because she would just hang out. But being a VTuber, it's not the cat buff. Oh no, I miss my cats. I've lost both my pets. I miss this. I know, I feel that. So I lost one of my cats last year, and when the new year started, the iPhone, because I have iOS, started giving like picture updates from the past year, like year-end recaps, and it was just a whole bunch of pictures of my passed away kitty cat, and it was very sad. I was very sad about it. So I feel you. I'm sorry. It's never fun trying to, I don't even want to say move on, but trying to recover from that kind of loss. Okay, sweetie, I'm gonna go put you outside. The room, not like actually outside, but I had that recently. The recap photos definitely, yeah, it's unfortunate because I'm sure had I known it was going to be a thing, maybe I would have been able to turn it off, but okay, let's go put you. Oh. Now I got cat hair all over my room. Oh. So I try. It's shedding season. I got like a layer of fur on me now. I wasn't trying to be a furry on stream. My both moms 12 years and lost them just months apart. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah, we've had. She's 15, or well, she'll be 15 in August. And then I had the other cat for about 11 years. So, yeah, it's rough. Very sad. Trying to just adapt to life. Basically missing family members is... Hold on, I think my partner's saying something. Oh. Sustainable for her chic, yeah. I don't know about that. Do you guys like fur? So I'm in a weird spot because my partner's vegetarian, stuff like that. So we don't really keep any like leather, don't really have any fur or anything like that. But you know what I used to think was so cool when I was a kid? Vests with a fur collar. And when I say a kid, I mean I still think they're really fucking cool. But it was more like 12-year-old Ash was all about a vest with a fur neckline. I thought it was the coolest shit in the world. Thought it was so cool. It was that rock star look, you know what I mean? Like you have a tank top with a vest with the fur, you know, the fur collar, and then you have, you know, your fingerless leather gloves kind of thing. Like, oh, it was sick. I was all about that life, but now I just can't really have fur stuff, and it's a little sad to me. Vest with the fur collar is neat. Oh, it's someone else. Yeah, I was that someone else! I loved it. I was all about that life. Oh. I don't like the feel of it. I want it soft. I'll go blankie. Yeah, or like a fuzzy robe. Oh, a Snuggie. Yes, my partner is so vegan I can't have fur clothes. Yes, correct. So here's the thing. Anything consumable, they don't really mind me having, right? So like I can eat chicken, I can eat steak, that kind of thing, right? As long as they're not eating it, doesn't bother them. Anything that's an animal byproduct in our home, though, that we'll have to see on a constant basis, they're not comfortable with. So like, we don't have any leather furniture because that's cowhide, basically. We don't have any fur-based stuff, anything like that. No taxidermied animals on the wall, you know what I mean? Like, none of that stuff. I need you to know who Rum Tum Tugger is. Please, no. I don't actually know who that is. Let me see. Rum Tum Tugger. Let me see if I know. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I have seen this. I didn't know that that's what he was called, though. Pretty sure most of my leather things are leather. Yeah, so like the only things... Okay, so the only things that I have that are leather, I do own one thing still. I got rid of the other one. I own one thing that is leather in this house. And it is, I have an ivory leather, which is leather that was dyed with ivory coloring. Eddie Van Halen 2x12 guitar cabinet that is leather bound. That is actually leather, but you pretty much can't get like a pleather bound guitar cab. They're all like, they all use the leather binding on the high end. So, but like my chair is pleather. We have microfiber couches and stuff like that. Glow, I don't know why I wanted to read that as, I am a farm girl, don't care. I know you put other words in there, but that's how my brain wanted to, because of the periods, that's how it wanted to read it. Yeah, basically that look, Anna, but he's more like in a leotard from what I'm seeing, as a like it underneath it more so than like a, like I'm thinking like a, you know, a tank top with the leather with the vest with the fur, and then like a pair of like leather pants. That rock star look. I think this picture's pretty close. Like, I'm just looking at basically furry stuff, though. Men and their periods, am I right? Okay, man. Yeah, I will say I have been I've been really stressed about things. I've been constantly on edge, and I have to imagine it's what a period feels like. I have to imagine it's what they call the hormones. As someone who fortunately has not had to deal with having one of those all their life, I have to imagine that the amount of on edge I have constantly felt for the past few months is just, it's not ideal, that's for sure. Like, I'm sure it doesn't help that my blood pressure is like borderline for high blood pressure, but I always feel like I'm about to pop off. And it's unfortunate, but kinda, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to yell at everything, and I feel bad because a lot of times it's like, okay, well, listen, you probably didn't deserve to be yelled at about that, but your eyes looked a little too blue today, so I just had to vent my frustration. You know, and that sounds ridiculous saying out loud, right? Like, that sounds insane, and I just have to think that that is what being on a period is like. Because it doesn't sound like something that should be going through my brain. Oh. Let me know if you're planning on graduating. I got like a mountain of embers. I mean, you could use them on stuff. I don't know what I have turned on right now. I have, like, I know I have bulb turned off right now because, like, at one point I really was just like not having it, and I just turned it off and did not turn it back on yet. There's some other stuff turned off too, I'm sure, but like, I did not want to have the most crash outy of crash outs, and so turning it off was the acceptable answer at the time. I want to go out in the middle of nowhere and scream, but that's not socially acceptable. It is here, so we have plenty of fields and stuff like that. Like, if I drive like 10 minutes from where I am, I could just go yell. I mean, it is going to be cold. Like, it's going to be, so it's been like 60 all week. I'm outside all day tomorrow. Like, I'm outside for 12 hours tomorrow. And it is going to be 22 most of the day with a high of 34. For reference, today, all day, the low was 55 and the high was 76. So I feel like the world just wants me to freeze to death. Because it very well could have just stayed warm the entire time, but no, I had to go cold again the day I have to be outside all day. I feel like it's my fault. To be fair, you made me work out a lot. No, actually, when I turned it off, I think I turned it off during a collab, but it was not your fault. I very distinctly recall turning it off because of chess piece. But I don't know why. Like, I was about to have a colossal level crash out on chess piece that was not their fault, legitimately. And so I just turned Bald off instead. The world wants me to stay inside. Listen, if you go outside, you can scream and shout and yell at the top of your lungs. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. It'll be so good. It'll be so good. Alternatively, you could yell while you're inside. Just work on your ventriloquist skills so you can make it sound like it's coming from your neighbor's dorm instead. And so when the cops are called for an attempted murder, it goes to them and not you. Right? So if you're wanting to get out all these screams, you got to make sure to work on your ventriloquist skills first. I think that's a good way to think about it. Ventriloquism. saving lives since 1935. When did ventriloquism become a thing? I don't know. First ventriloquist. Chat, you want to guess how many decades I was off of with that? What did I say, 1935? Try 1753 was the first known case of ventriloquist. I was so wrong. 1801 with James Rain was the first in America, though, so I guess. The lake I live next to is dry. I could go out to the island in the middle of it, and ooh, that could be fun. Hi, Kosa. What are you doing awake? Shouldn't you be asleep? My neighbor has a dog that makes my eyes twitch sometimes. Tiny Pomeranian just barks. I had a Pomeranian that got poisoned, chat. It was very sad. I used to love that Pomeranian. Barks will head off at random. Yeah, so I had a 98th percentile size Pomeranian. And for people who don't know what that means, is I had a really big fucking Pomeranian. Pomeranians are generally very small dogs. They're not Chihuahua sized, but they're a tiny dog. My Pomeranian was a medium-sized dog. Like he was bigger than your average, like, I'd say he was like a size of like a small beagle is the best way. Like very big Pomeranian. But someone put lighter fluid in his water bowl and poisoned him. And it was very sad. Very, very sad. I needed drywall, an aluminum frame, and a series of progressively bigger sledgehammers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know the last time I used a sledgehammer. It's been a hot minute since I've used a sledgehammer. Do I need more sledgehammers in my life? Why have I not used a sledgehammer? Yeah, well, so we found out who it was. It was one of, so I mentioned earlier when I was growing up, I lived in a duplex. My parents were renting. We lived in a neighborhood with a whole bunch of kids. And one of the kids my brother played with, my brother's 6 years younger than me, right? So like I was in like elementary school and or early middle school, and he was like kindergarten or younger, right? So he hung out and played with like younger children, and they had traded Pokemon cards, and apparently the kid found out that he got a bad deal from my brother, and instead of I don't want to say instead of being an adult about it or being mature about it, because it was like literally like a 5-year-old. Like, to be very clear, this was like a 5-year-old decided to poison the dog instead. And the kid admitted to it after the fact and everything. And so like that's how we know it was this kid. But like it's literally a 5-year-old. I don't know. Like, I don't even, maybe not even that, maybe like 4. They were like kindergarten age whenever you start kindergarten. It's unfortunate, but so they visit my local rage room. You have an axe throwing area? You can process how to poison at the I believe the program was called Youth Outreach, I think. They had to go for like 4 years. They had to meet with a cop every like Thursday or something like that for like 4 years. And now I don't know. I assume it was like a police therapist and not just like a cop yelling at this kid not to poison animals. I just know it was called the Youth Outreach Program, and they had to, and the reason I know is they had to be picked up like from the school every Thursday for like 4 years or some shit like that. Which I don't know. My parents must have like gone to the school more or something, because like thinking about it, I don't know like why the school was involved in getting them to go. It was like a program through the school. So I don't really know why that happened, but somehow that did. Maybe that was just when the time was convenient. I don't know. I'd have to ask my parents about it. I just know we stopped trading Pokemon cards after that. We pretty much kind of abandoned the card game after that. It kind of left a bad taste in our mouth. I'm gonna be so real. Like, I love Pokemon. Do not get me wrong, but that whole experience just made it to where we didn't really play the card game anymore. We may have actually sold our cards at that point. I don't have any of my old Pokemon cards. Ooh. Unfortunate. The kids will be kids. Like I can't talk. I had to go see a psychologist for a while for a kid saying I was trying to kill him. So like I am not free of sin. I was talking about it earlier, so we'd go to Colorado every few years, right? And I had gotten a souvenir from Yellowstone, and it was this little knife. It was this little whittling knife. The blade was probably 2 inches, like a little bit, and I mean a little bit longer than like a nail file. And I just used it to whittle wood and stuff like that. And I just had it on the bus with me one day, and I was whittling, and the next thing I know, I'm getting called into the office for trying to kill a kid, and I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? I'm whittling wood." And that was the whole thing. It was a whole ordeal. They melted my knife down. It was very sad. I liked that knife. I kind of wish I would have. Sometimes I want to say things because in my brain I'm like, oh man, if I had to pay the price for this, I should have just done this thing. But then like you think about it for another second and you're like, no. Like I about said, man, I wish I would have attacked that kid with this knife if I was gonna have to go see the police about it. But then I'm like, yeah, but like, imagine I did that. My life would be so much different than just having to see the police for a little bit. I would have ended up in like juvie, you know, like always take that additional second, possibly third second to just consider, you know, how different things would be if you did certain things. Because it could be way worse. It could always be way worse, but maybe not always. Most of the time, it could be way worse. Oh my gosh, do you ever just see something go on your Steam dashboard, and that just, it gives you both so much joy and so much dread at the same time? So I was just chilling. We're just chilling, right? We're just chilling. And in the corner pops up that Staria has started playing Final Fantasy 14. And my initial thought was, oh my god, that's fantastic. I love Final Fantasy 14. I'm so glad they're playing Final Fantasy 14. And then immediately after, my brain went, oh god, they need to not ask me to play Final Fantasy 14. I just got off of this train. I don't need back on this train right now. I don't want to play Final Fantasy 14. It's okay though. They weren't going to ask me to play Final Fantasy 14. We went through a wide range of emotions over just this itty bitty Steam pop up in the bottom corner. I'm clearly mentally stable. Okay. I think I think I need to pick a game to play at some point. So we can't play Fallen Order anymore. I think that ship has sailed. It does not run well enough to be able to stream it. So I'm thinking we'll play something else next time we stream. Well, no. Next time we stream will be Saturday or Night's Night. I doubt I'll stream tomorrow. Sunday's meme review. We're doing the Discord meme review on Sunday. That'll be Sunday, because the following Sunday is technically March 1st, so it's outside of our window. This will be very likely our last Discord meme review. I've not figured out where we're moving. Oh, they're off. I hadn't looked. What do you mean they're off? What? I liked Lana's suggestion. Oh yeah, no. The redeems are off. Like they're paused. Technically you could go unpause them. You have that ability. I don't know if you know how to use that ability, but you have that ability. But there's a couple options I've been presented with. Root is looking, which is, I think that's the one Lana suggests, is looking like the most plausible. Because here's the thing, I'm not going to nuke my Discord. I'm going to keep using Discord, whether it wants me to age verify or not, because I think as of now, it's still the most convenient for just talking and DMing and stuff like that. That said, going forward, even if they roll policies back, I am not convinced they are not running every image posted to it through AI at this point to try to figure out if people are adults or not. And I frankly don't want everyone exposed to giving up their pictures and stuff, be it memes for a meme review, or if they want to post like we have the food channel and stuff like that for posting stuff. The stuff isn't rolling out till next month, so I don't think it's affecting what's currently in there. Hopefully that's my goal, but I think starting next month I'm gonna go to a different site just to make sure people's images, whether it be, maybe someone wants to post a VTuber selfie or they're actually posting something of where they're at. I don't want an AI to be running people's stuff through that and tracking them or learning about stuff based on that. So I think I have to get the names, but I think there's 3 different options that I'm looking at right now. Root is been the most recommended, but that's mostly because of Lana and Belle. So we'll see. But next month's meme review will probably be in something like that. We may just take March off though, until I'm confident about another third site to go to instead of Discord for it. We may just take March off of memes. I would like them to come back though. I do like doing the meme reviews. Currently it's the Discord meme reviews, but I think it's a fun time. I don't want people to be uncomfortable with posting stuff in there and worried about AI hijacking it just to try to age verify us. I'm going to keep it up and not give my info. People still use it. Yeah, exactly. It's useful. Let's find someone to raid. I think I have probably yapped long enough for tonight. I'm gonna be honest, I was only planning on streaming for like an hour, but we just kind of got to yapping, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. Good yap's always a good time. It helps that the music just kind of keeps going. It's been a good soundtrack. This is, for anyone who doesn't know, this is a lo-fi Twitch music, no copyright and DMCA free. It's by Panda Beats. And there's 263 tracks. We're on track 60, so we've listened to 60 of them tonight. But it's been pretty chill. Don't forget your laundry. Ooh, yes. Laundry. And like hang them up or yep. Okay. Okay. Cool. Laundry. Thank you. Is anyone live? I know some people were live earlier, but I don't know about now. Lily and Levy are live. Okay. You know what? We were talking about them earlier, so we're gonna raid them. Oh, Enki's live right now though. I love it when Enki's live. I feel like I was talking about this person earlier, so I'm gonna raid them instead of Enki. We raided Enki the other day. I think I've raided Enki like 3 times in the last week, so we're gonna raid into Astralena. They're doing Pokemon Doodle Challenge. Guess the Pokemon win a prize. But we were talking about them earlier. We were talking about ASMR people. They don't always do ASMR. This isn't ASMR from what I can tell, but they do that quite a bit. So let's go say hi to them. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and just having me complain for half the night. So I will catch you guys Saturday at 5 Eastern for Night's Night. Have a good night, guys. Bye. Have fun. Bye.